Joe Biden's re-election campaign plays dice with the U.S. Then again, if you crave a second Trump term, the president is working hard for you. Any criminal charge is obviously good enough, even a flimsy one involving a payoff to a porn star, if it saves the country another Donald Trump candidacy. Then Joe Biden and his Democrats can have the 2024 race they crave, free of Trumpian distractions, focused on real issues like crime, inflation, the border, wokeism, etc. Even better if Republicans nominate a youngster so Mr. Biden can lead the country in a debate on issues of age and experience that he'd love to have. I'm joking, of course. It would be imprecise to say Mr. Biden, who formally announced on Tuesday, prefers to run against Mr. Trump in 2024. Running against Mr. Trump is the only way to rationalize his candidacy as the weakest incumbent in 50-plus years. Even Teddy Kennedy couldn't say about Jimmy Carter, on top of everything else, he's too old. Mr. Biden needs 2024 to be a straight-up replay of 2020's Trump referendum. He needs Trumpian controversies to take center stage, first to secure for Mr. Trump the Republican nomination and then to assure for Mr. Biden the loyalty of Democrats and independents. Voila, the indictment by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg has been working so far. He and other prosecutors just can't succeed too well, because then the beneficiary wouldn't be Mr. Biden, it would be every GOP hopeful with a pulse, who'd have a free shot at Mr. Biden on his record and infirmities. Democrats are playing dice with the country. After all, Mr. Trump came within a whisker of beating the same Biden as cipher strategy in 2020. A Biden health crisis is one of several wild cards that can't be ruled out. Ask ChatGPT what happens when a candidate dies or is incapacitated 2 weeks before Election Day. Not pretty. Then there's Hunter Biden. Mr. Bragg surprised many by not characterizing the Stormy Daniels payment as an illegal campaign donation. Did his chutzpah fail him at the last minute because of an unfavorable comparison? A genuine campaign donor, Hollywood lawyer Kevin Morris, last year reportedly loaned Hunter $2 million to settle his IRS debts and appeal for clemency, which is hard to see as anything but a gift to the Biden campaign. Alternatively, Mr. Bragg has also suggested that hiding the payment to Ms. Daniels might be somehow election fraud, as if politicians aren't entitled to personal secrets. They are. Now we learn the Biden 2020 campaign played a role in stimulating former officials to create a smokescreen around Hunter's lost laptop. We learn a senior IRS investigator is reportedly prepared to testify that federal tax prosecutors have displayed political favoritism toward the younger Mr. Biden. Both seem much clearer-cut allegations of improperly hiding truths that voters legitimately had a right to know about. The 2024 I've warned about is shaping up, another presidential selection process dominated by the deep state maneuvering of prosecutors, election lawyers, the FBI, intelligence leakers, social media censors and the like. Coming down are possible Trump indictments related to January 6 and intelligence mishandling. Whatever the facts, is it conceivable, in this or any other universe, these decisions could be free of political calculation? Get ready for a possible replay of 2016, when the FBI's too cutesy intervention in the Hillary Clinton email case ended up helping put Mr. Trump in the White House. Democrats may also miscalculate his unpopularity. To many voters, Mr. Trump's presidency was hardly the disaster blue state activists choose to remember it as. He remains also inestimable as a catalyst for eliciting the swinishness of public and media figures not named Trump. Democrats blind themselves to this consideration, but it resonates with voters. An unambiguous voter preference for Mr. Trump the country might at least live with. Our institutions managed him handily last time. Another murky, disputed presidential outcome would be a lot harder on the nation's nerves. A split decision in the Electoral College and popular vote, frantic deep state manipulations, galumphing displays of media bias, head-scratching court decisions lacking any basis in written law. I would advise staying off the street when blue state, peaceful demonstrators are torching buildings and throwing cement-filled beer cans at police. With pro-Trump militants, because their January 6 crimes were treated as crimes and then some, we can at least hope their taste for mayhem was beaten out of them, unlike the left where it has been indulged. Social scientists call this a natural experiment. It isn't too much to say Mr. Biden's decision to run is itself a major risk factor. Happily, many months lie ahead, so there's hope. Senator Tim Scott and others may enter the race on the GOP side. RFK Jr., in an echo of his father's challenge to LBJ and his uncle's challenge to Mr. Carter, has joined on the Democratic side. For that matter, nothing about Tuesday's announcement stops Mr. Biden at a later date from making the patriotic decision not to run after all. Joe Biden's re-election campaign plays dice with the U.S. Then again, if you crave a second Trump term, the president is working hard for you. Any criminal charge is obviously good enough, even a flimsy one involving a payoff to a porn star, if it saves the country another Donald Trump candidacy. Then Joe Biden and his Democrats can have the 2024 race they crave, free of Trumpian distractions, folks.